Hi, welcome to Fish. First I see Kim, and my name is Linda. Today is a God shot, and we're going to get right to it. It's about spiritual gifts. Oh, yes, we love spiritual gifts. And one of the greatest blessings of the Holy Spirit is that He manifests Himself in every believer. He does not sit passively inside us. He is active. Jesus said in John 7:38 that the Spirit would become in us like a flowing river. He fills us so He can touch others with the reality of Christ. And the Apostle Paul explained that how this miracle happens. He taught that the Spirit gives gifts to each individual Christian, and these gifts manifest various aspects of Christ's power and nature. He taught us in 1 Corinthians 12:7, but the manifestation of the Spirit is given to everyone for the common good. That is important. Why? Because so many of us are carried away with self-edification. We feel spiritually superior sometimes. I've seen it. And, you have to be careful with yourself too. That people get carried away with the gifts that they have. And so some of them feel that they are spiritually superior. And others imitate the gifts, which is really sad. You cannot imitate spiritual gifts and then expect to get away with it. It's sooner or later going to catch up with you. But unfortunately, gifts are easy to imitate. And God will deal with that later on. The gifts are given by the Holy Spirit so that it edifies the church, not ourselves. And they manifest in us by God, by the Holy Spirit. They are not self-manifested, and that is dangerous. And we have to keep that in mind. For those that do self-manifestation of spiritual gifts, may be a wolf in sheep's clothing. All right, you must be careful of these things, as well as those that say, hey, pay me this amount of money to my school, and I will teach you how to have these gifts. I will teach you how to prophesy. I will teach you how to speak in tongues or translate tongues, or on and on the list goes. That cannot be done. Now, yes, if someone does have a true calling of God and meets another individual with a very similar calling, can they help one another? Of course they can, because eventually that's going to help the church. And God understands that, and He will place those people in our paths if we so need it. But please be careful of spiritual gifts. They are a wonderful gift of the Holy Spirit, manifested by God for the edification of the church. I know I'm speaking harshly here, but I have to. I've seen it too many times. All right. And a lot of it is bogus or show pony stuff, or just, for yourself so that you look great. I mean, we all have egos and we all need to keep them in check. And we get carried away with this stuff that doesn't exist because we made it up. So it's not going to be a spiritual gift, And so at the end here that I wrote, I don't want to sound like a feminist here, but this is also a very common mistake that's made. All right. That some people think that spiritual gifts are for men only. And when Jesus' followers gathered on the day of Pentecost, look, the flame of the Holy Spirit rested on each person's head. The holy fire touched both men and women. And since that moment, the Spirit has imparted spiritual gifts to both men and women, okay? Gender has never been a barrier to spiritual gifting, which also includes salvation. Salvation is for everyone. So if you have half the population that has salvation and spiritual gifts, why is that not being used in the promotion of God, to forward His kingdom, to spread the gospel that we are all commanded to do? All right? So this type of discrimination actually reveals a lack of faith as well as a carnal mindset. Remember, our minds are carnal. And in 1 Corinthians 12:11 it says, "But that one and the very same Spirit works all these things, dividing to each one individually as He will." We are not in control of the Holy Spirit. We don't tell Him what to do or who to use. Let's get out of His way, people, and let Him work through every surrendered and sincere believer. That's it for Fish. First I See Kim. My name is Linda, and that's our God Shot today. Until next time.